Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We find ourselves back in the basement, and today we are going to be finalizing this sink. We're finally, by the end of this video, gonna have a working sink and faucet. And the way we're gonna get that done is by finally adding a drain, because in the last video, we've gotten this faucet in and it works. It's off at the moment because we don't have a drain. One of the first things we're going to be doing is installing this strainer, I think it's called. And I was going to add plumber's putty, but the plumber's putty that I had was expired. But then I realized that this came in the packaging, where the box that this came in. So I'm gonna see if I use this. I've never used it before. I don't know if it's gonna leak. So this is gonna be something new for me. And we have this ring here to go through the bottom to clamp that in place and make sure no water falls in through these edges. And then over here, we have an elaborate system for the drain. So we're gonna start off with, let's start from the drain. So we're gonna make a 90-degree right away from the drain. Then we're gonna make a 90-degree going down. And the reason why I want this to be the way it is, like long-wise, is because down here, I want this to come 90 degrees down and straight that way to be out of the way of the shelf that's gonna be here. Usually, we have the pipe going straight down into a P-trap and then into the wall. But because I don't want it to be taking space, you know, in this area, I am going to put a 90-degree here, straight that way, down into the P-trap and into the drain, like you see here. Straight down into a 90, then another 90. Here, the reason why we have this is because, not for a dishwasher, but it's because in the future I am planning on putting a dehumidifier down here. Because in the summer, it gets really humid down here and it's really bad for, I think that's stainless, so that's not a problem. But it's just bad for anything in the basement. You don't want any moisture, especially like this wood top and stuff. So I'm gonna have a dehumidifier and I'm going to be hooking it up here. And then straight down to a P-trap. It's gonna make another 90 here and another 90 into the wall. All these things are going to have to be cut. I am going to see if I use a regular Sawzall or maybe a bandsaw. It's a deep cut bandsaw, so I don't know if I'm gonna use it, but it's fairly simple to install this. So I'm gonna be showing you the tricks that I'm using. Also, let me mention, this system might be illegal just because there's a long way from the drain all the way to where it goes into the wall. So before installing this, keep in mind that you might be doing something illegal. If you guys are going to be doing the same thing that I'm doing just to save those that little bit of space under the cabinet, keep in mind that you might be doing something illegal. But I'm gonna use this system just because I want the space. It's in the basement. I'm only doing it for space. This doesn't get used for washing dishes or for crazy commercial traffic. So I don't have a problem using this system. So first thing is first, we are going to be installing the P-trap. So we're gonna have to cut this and do a nice little 90. We're also gonna have to cut this. So nothing to it, but to do it. So I've gotten to this point where the P-trap is installed, and I have to install this piece right here where the drain is gonna go for dehumidifier. But what I'm running into now is, do I want to make this a straight down and then up, or do I want it to go and recess in the back? If I do it in the back, as you can see, this is going to be in the way over here with the shut-off valve. So I am going to have to move this forward this way and then have it in front. It's not too big of a deal. Actually, now that I look at this is gonna go at a 90 straight back. So I think the first thing I'm gonna do is install this going that way and then put the 90 going down and see where this drain pipe is going to be pointing. So let's install this 90 and then we'll move into installing that straight pipe with the drain on it. And that's why it's important to check your work. So now that I install this pipe, the valve is above this pipe. So we have no conflict with the pipe being so high. So it's gonna be around this low, and it's in a perfect place where there is no conflict between this drain and the valve up there. So let's put this on first. Well, I'm gonna have to figure this out as I go. So you guys see in the next scene what I'm gonna do. Okay, we have officially gotten everything in. This turned out to not be a problem as far as being in the way of the valve up here. It actually ended up in a perfect place. Would have been good if you could get it lower, but unfortunately there's not enough meat on top here, but it's okay, that would work. So all we have left to do now is turn on the water. To see why I like this, you just have to turn it once and it's on. Same thing on this side. That's on now. Let's turn this on. Let's see if anything's leaking down here. Let's cover this for the moment and fill this up. So far there is no leaks. This is still open right here, but let's first see if by filling this up, sending as much water down this drain, will it leak down here. The good thing is that there's no water coming out from here, which is what I was afraid of because I've never used that foam from the top before. I've always used plumber's putty, but so far we're looking good. This is filling up. We have about an inch. Let me turn on the hot water. The hot water is coming out, no problem. And this is filling up. We have about 2 inches of water. I'm gonna let it fill up a little bit more and then I'm gonna release this right here. So we're gonna stop it right there. We're gonna release this, but I'm gonna put the camera from below when I release it, and let's see if water comes out from these joints. And it's released. That water that came out from here. Let me cover this hole. We have no water. Besides what came out from this hole. I should have thought about covering that before doing this test. But let me cover that hole and redo this test really quick. All right, so I don't have anything to cover that hole, unfortunately. I thought I did in my mechanics kit, but I do not. So I have filled this up already. I'm going to set up the camera down here, cover that hole with my finger, and make sure there's absolutely no water. I dried that up down there so we know if there's some water there, there's a leak. All right, put my finger on it, and now I'm gonna open it up. And we have no leaks, none whatsoever. So now that that is done 100%, we have a sink and a faucet. And all that we need to complete the system is some soap. So I do have a problem with this, and I'm afraid that it's not gonna work properly. And it's because this Eagle Grit, it's called Eagle Grit for a reason, and it's because it has some sand in it. I don't know exactly what it is, but it has a little bit of sand. I really like cleaning my hands with this kind of stuff because it leaves my hands very, very clean and you know, smooth. The only problem is that because this has grit, this might get clogged. So I am going to be cutting this to length, putting it inside. Although that length is not permanent because I have to put in this shelf eventually in here, and I have to cut that over there, but that's for a different video. So for now, I'm just gonna cut this to length, dip that in there, and see if this could pump it out. Now, so I'm gonna start pumping from above and see if it gets sucked up. It's not working at all. It's not working at all. This really sucks. Sucks, man. Unfortunately, we were not able to get the soap dispenser to work and pump this stuff up to the top. But to be honest, I think it's more a problem with the pump than it is with the soap itself. So I did order a brand new pump to replace that one and see if that's the problem. I'll be updating you guys on that when I get the new pump. But as far as everything else, the drain is installed with the P-trap. I put a piece of glove, like I cut the finger off and put this on, and then put a piece of blue tape to keep that in place, and it's working perfect and flawless. So the good thing is that this drain is not leaking and is working perfectly. Especially this top part over here, which I was worried, because like I said earlier, I've never used that foam before. I've always used the plumber's putty to seal this off. But I guess that foam is working good. Let's see how long it lasts though. But this project is officially done. We have a faucet, a sink, a soap dispenser, although the soap dispenser is not working. And we have a drain that's looking really clean in its chrome instead of any dull like
brass or any other plastic, white plastic and stuff. I like how everything came out down here. So we have plenty of space in this area over here to put stuff. In a future video, we are going to be installing the shelf that's there in there, but it has to be modified and cut to make fit. So that will be in a future video. But as far as this sink, we're looking really good, and I'm happy how everything came out.
So as far as this project here, we are done. This countertop is in, the backsplash is in, although nothing's hanging from it, but it's done. We have water down here and a faucet. I can finally put a couple of things in there, which is the stuff I use to wash and dry. I can install that down there and it's not sitting on the floor anymore. So yeah, this place is started to shape up. For the next video, let me go upstairs so I can show you what's going to happen.
So on the next video, we are going to be working in the office, but nothing that involves the office. We're going to be working on the front door. What are we going to be doing exactly? We are going to be making some holes on the door because they didn't make all the holes. They only made the hole for the doorknob, but they didn't make a hole for the lock. We also have a door sweep that goes in the bottom. That calls for a hole on the side in the bottom, somewhere down there. So we're gonna have to make a hole for this. So I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to use the template. As you can see, I've been playing with it a little bit. I'm gonna show you guys how to play with the template and get this lined up perfectly, and some tricks that I use to make that work. And then maybe get the painting done, because I want to paint it before getting it installed. There is some important pieces missing, like the cylinder that goes on the other side of the door, because this is the inside side, and also the hinges. But we have some work to do before we can install this anyway, so it works out for the best. There's still things we could do.
So that's gonna be it for today. We finally got a sink in the basement working perfectly with no problems. We do have to figure out what's going on with the soap dispenser, but when that comes in, I'll save that for a later video so we could do it together, since we tested it together, but that'll be later on. So if you learned something new, you can show me by giving me a like. Any comments or questions, leave in the comments down below. And if you're interested in seeing more things going on in the basement, this door get installed and some holes made somewhere around there, consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thanks.